This is one of the most successful social safety net programs in American history. It has saved countless Americans capacity to live with dignity, for our seniors, for people living with disabilities, for children who lose a parent, including my partner. You know, Social Security is the lifeline that keeps people from living in poverty, and so we have to do everything we can to protect it, especially now as we know the current administration is openly talking about dismantling key pieces of Social Security and privatizing aspects of it. I have a unique leadership role currently in Congress. I have hazard duty as the ranking member on the DOGE subcommittee, which is a new committee that was created in Congress when the new president took office and stood up the Elon Musk effort to try to size down programs. And part of why I signed up for that job is because I actually used to be a budget analyst at the president's budget office, which is called OMB. And I felt like it was important to have folks who are concerned about fiscal responsibility, who are concerned about the solvency of programs, who are concerned about real government efficiency and effectiveness, have a seat at the table and help crafting those policies. But unfortunately, over the last 7.5 months, what we've seen is that the members of that committee have been using it basically as a political front to give cover to what we see as a really reckless slashing and burning of federal programs. And it has not been carefully crafted bipartisan legislation that's moved forward. It's in fact been largely, if you've watched any of these hearings, really out of control political circuses trying to paper over what is actually happening in this administration. And the last hearing that we had in the DOGE subcommittee, they brought in a bunch of conservative analysts who work for the Heritage Foundation and associated organizations, and the topic that was very much forefronted in that hearing by the current Republican leadership was privatizing Social Security. And so that prompted my office, along with other leaders, including leadership in the House, to file the Hands Off Our Social Security bill, which is a bill I filed the day before I left Washington, D.C. 2 weeks ago. And that bill would protect Social Security by making it illegal for any administration, it doesn't matter which administration it is, to privatize Social Security. It would require that Congress consent to downsizing Social Security workforce and offices, and it would mandate in the law that Social Security maintain public access by phone, in person, and all of the current ways that so many of folks who are accessing Social Security need to have access. Because part of what we've seen since DOGE has taken over Social Security is that they've dramatically cut back hours. They're trying to shut down centers all over New Mexico, including in Rio Rancho. We're very concerned about that. And Albuquerque actually happens to have one of the largest Social Security call centers in the United States. And our call center services the entire United States. So if you're a senior in Florida or New York or California, you're actually getting a New Mexican on the phone. And we visited our regional office a few weeks ago, and what we heard from the staff there was stark. They are a facility that was built to house about 400 or 500 employees, and they're now down to 200 or less employees working the phones because DOGE has hacked into the computer systems and data of the Social Security system. The system has been crashing, and I just in Rio Rancho met a retired Social Security worker from that call center, and she was telling me she's still friends with and spends time with the folks who work there, and she said it's just catastrophic right now, what's happening all over the country, but certainly here in our local office. So the reason why we introduced this bill is to protect Social Security. We don't think it's likely that the current Congress will take it up because the current Congress is currently trying to dismantle so many of these programs, but we felt it was important to take a strong stand and say, do not privatize Social Security. We're gonna fight back with everything that we can. Now, I wanna just add on what we think they might try to do. in terms of privatization. I worked very closely on this bill with the lead who has been in charge of the Committee for Social Security, John Larson, for many, many years. And I didn't really fully appreciate what the kind of end goal is. And that is that they're trying to break the system now so that they can make the case for privatizing it. So they don't want it to work. They want it to break down so that they can make the argument that they have to privatize it. And the big money isn't in running the programs. It really is a social service. The big money is in taking your Social Security benefits and playing the stock market with them. And that's what they want. And when I say they, I mean the GOP establishment and think tanks that are advocating for privatization. Sure, they want to give out contracts, lucrative government contracts to their friends to overhaul IT, but really big money is in being able to take the principal that you paid into Social Security your entire life that you worked, and they want to take that money and gamble it on the stock market so that they can make money off of it.